Alright, so today our topic is going to be on linear functions, and I'm going to give you some key points or topics or lessons we're going to be doing on linear functions, okay? So first you're going to learn about the general form, and then we're going to learn about how to graph linear functions, and we're going to learn how to find specific spelled that wrong. Specific values. Okay? Now, let's start off with the general form. General form is going to be y equal to mx plus b. Now, so I'm going to tell you like which one is what each of these variables mean, and then I'm going to give you like a problem. I want you to try to figure out I'm going to give you two types of, let's say, parts or variables. I want you to identify what they are. Alright, so this y is going to be the y value given from a word problem. The m is going to be the slope, which is going to be the rise over the run. Okay, this x is going to be an x value, and the b is going to be the y-intercept, and that's going to be the y value when x is 0. So I'll say when x is 0, I'm going to put it as b. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to give you a problem. So say take y equal to 2x plus 5. Find the slope and the y-intercept. Okay? And I'm going to erase this because I don't want you guys to look at this, because I want you guys to understand it. And you're not going to have this during the test or any test you have. But you can write this down on your scratch paper. You can point to it which one is which to help you. But you won't have a diagram of it or to give it to you. So you need to memorize them. Okay? So hopefully that was enough time for you to figure out what the slope and y-intercept was. And the slope is going to be 2, and the y-intercept is going to be 5. Now, why is the slope 2? That's going to be that's why, because look, the slope is m, right? M will always come before the x. So what number came before the x was 2. So slope was 2. Now, let's take attention to the b, which is the y-intercept. And I said the y-intercept was 5, and that is correct because look, this is the y-intercept is the last term of this equation. So, and the last term in this case was 5, right? Alright, now let's erase this and let's take a look on how to graph it, because we took a look at the general form, right? We know how the general form works. Now see how you would graph it from the general form. So I'm going to give you a problem. We're going to walk it through. So let's start off with 2x plus 5, or y equals. Let me write the y equals. I don't want to just write it like that. So y equals 2x plus 5. And let me quickly draw a graph for you guys. Let me extend this a bit so we have some space. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so now I've given the points. This is going to be my y-axis. This is going to be my x-axis. Okay, so first we're going to take your attention to the y-intercept, which is 5, right? And y-intercept, as I told you, is going to be 5 when x is 0. So if I were to express this in a coordinate, in a ordered pair, it would be as 0, 5. So whenever x value is 0, y is going to be 5. And I'm going to plot this. And I'm assuming you guys know how to plot it. So I'm going to go to 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be right at the top there, right? Now the slope. The slope is going to be 2, right? So the slope is 2. Then I'm going to express this as a fraction. If I were to express this as a fraction, what would it be? I'm going to put this as a denominator as 1, right? Because 2 over 1 is the same thing as 2, if I were to simplify it. And then I'm going to write the words rise over run right next to it. Now the rise means how much it's going down or up. And the run is you're going through the, let me clarify this actually. So 2, right, is the rise. The rise are going to be going on through the y-axis, and the run are going to be going through the x-axis. I'm going to show you what I mean. So let's regraph my y-intercept, right, which is 5. Now let's graph the slope. So slope is 2. I'm going to go down 2. Since I was 2, right, it would go up 2. But in this case, I have no more space, so I'm going to go down 2. So if I go down 2, I'm here. Then I'm going to go to the left 1. So it's going to be right, that point is going to be right there. Since I went down 2 and left 1, it's going to be -2, -1. Because if I go to the left or if I go down, it's going to be considered as a negative rise or a negative run. But in this case, I have a positive slope, right? So I need to make sure this turns into a positive slope. So since I have 2 negatives, I went down 2, that means negative, and I went to the left 1, that's a negative. These 2 negatives will cancel out to become a positive slope. So that's why I went down and then left. If you had more space, it would go 2 up and then right 1, because that would still be positive. If it were a negative slope, it would go down 2 and then right 1, because only one, either in the numerator or the denominator, you can choose, but only one of them has to be negative. Alright, and resulting as a negative slope. So there we go. I graphed the line. I graphed the point, sorry, not the line. I'm about to graph the line for you guys. So I drew that line, make sure it aligns, and there we go. I drew the line for you guys. So that is how graphing from this equation will look like. So hopefully you guys got the basic idea. I'm going to take a look at another example, and I'm going to say y equal to 3/4 x plus 3, okay? Again, I'm going to draw a graph for you guys. Oh, let me fix that, that's kind of crooked. Okay, it's better. Now let me draw this part. Okay, so let me draw the values. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there we go. I drew it, right? Now let's take a look at it. So we're gonna do it the same exact way we did it before, but the slope is kind of different. So now let's just go away and I'm gonna explain you as we go. So first we're gonna take a look at the y-intercept, which is in this case 3. So if I were to express this in ordered pair, what would it be? It would be 0, 3, because the y-intercept is going to be a specific y value when the x value is 0, right? So in this case, if I were to plot this, it would be 0, 3. Plot that right there, okay? Now, let's take a look at the slope. And it looks kind of interesting, but we can just figure it out. So, the slope is 3/4. It's already in fraction form, so we don't need to convert it. I'm going to write the words rise over run right over it. And if I write that down, you immediately got what you need to do, right? We talked about what the rise and run was. And if I put rise over run over it, you automatically know that 3 is your rise, 4 is your run. So if 3 is my rise, I'm going to go up 3, so 1, 2, 3. In this case, I'm going up because I have space, so 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to go to the right 4, so it's going to be 4, like right about there, okay? Now I'm going to put a line through that. Make sure it goes through where I need it to go. And there we go. That is the line. All right. And that's how you would graph from the slope-intercept form. It's not that hard. You just need to identify the the y-intercept and the slope, and you can just graph it from there. Okay. Now let's take a look at our next part, which is going to be finding a specific value. So we talked about the general form. We talked about how to graph. Now let's find how to find a specific value. So, in an equation or a word problem, that's what I meant to say, they'll give you at least maybe 1 point, and they'll either give you the slope or the y-intercept. So in this case, let's do the y-intercept. We need to try to find the slope. So they're giving us the y-intercept, but we need to try to find the slope, okay? So let's say it costs $0 for 18 books, and it costs $3 for 24 books. How much does each book cost? All right. So let's take a look at this first one, and I'm going to give you another piece of information. I'm going to say x equal to dollars, and y is going to be equal to the number of books. Number of books. Okay? Hopefully you guys are understanding till now. Alright? Now let's take a look at the first data, and they're giving us $0 for 18 books. So let's represent this as an ordered pair, because we know ordered pair x, y, right? X is the number of dollars, that's going to be 0. And you know, the y number of books, in this case, is going to be 18. So it will be 0, 18. Now, doesn't this look familiar to you? That if something, as I said, that if the x value is 0, and there's a specific y value, what is that called? That's going to be the y-intercept, or the b. So we found our y-intercept, right? Now, we know for sure they haven't given us a slope, because they'll be saying it goes at a constant rate or something like that, right? They didn't give us a constant rate. So now let's take a look at this part of information. So I'm going to again express this as a ordered pair. So I'm going to get 324, because $3, which is x, for 24 books, which is y, right? Now I'm going to plug this into the slope-intercept form. You might be thinking, how am I going to do that? Well, we had the y equal to mx plus b. We still have this y value and x value, right? When we're going through it, I said y is the y value, x is the x value. So I'm going to plug that in. So y is going to be 24 equal to 3m, and I don't know my slope, plus 18. And I flip-flopped it. It should be m3, but no one writes it as that, as a variable, and then the number. So yeah, I flip it around and make it 3m. So then I'm just going to solve for m. So minus 18 from both sides. Minus 18. That cancels out, and then let me extend this page a bit. Alright, then I'm going to get 6 equal to 3m. Divide by 3 to isolate the m. That means m is going to be $2. That means it costs $2 for each book. And that was our slope. Alright? So we completed all the to-dos, or what we're going to be doing in this lesson. And I'm going to be continuing in the next video. I'm going to be going into deeper on this topic. Hopefully this video was helpful, and hopefully you understood everything. So thank you for watching.